A former investigator on the January 6th committee is making a late bid for an open Senate seat in Missouri. John Wood is looking to win the seat of retiring Republican Senator Roy Blunt. He's running as an independent and recently gathered enough signatures to get on the ballot before next week's deadline. For more on this, John Wood joins us now. John, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks. I'm glad to be with you.
So why did you decide to jump into this Senate race at this late date, and what led you to believe that there's an opening for an independent candidate in a red state like Missouri?
Yeah, so I'm a Republican. I've been a Republican my entire life. I'm a conservative, but a common sense conservative within the mainstream. And I looked at this race and was very distraught that it looks like the voters in Missouri are going to be presented with a choice between two extremes, the extreme left from the Democrats and the extreme right. And not just conservative, but divisive and extremist on the right. And it could be even our disgraced former governor, Eric Greitens. And I decided that we need an option that really represents the views and values of Missouri voters, which is conservative, but within the mainstream.
People have tried to run and win as independents before. Typically, it is a real uphill battle. Why not just run as a Republican? Is it because you've already got, I think it is 21 people running in that field, including Eric Greitens, who, as you mentioned, is facing abuse and sexual misconduct allegations?
Yeah, that race has become really a race to the bottom, unfortunately, to see who can be the most extreme and the most divisive. And so far, it looks like Eric Greitens is winning that race. And he resigned as governor because of a scandal in which he blackmailed his mistress with naked photos, and then since has been credibly accused by his ex-wife of domestic abuse. And I just decided that wasn't the game I want to play, the race in really both parties' primaries have been to see who can be the most extreme and appeal to a very small sliver of their respective bases. But what most Missourians want is somebody who's in the mainstream, a right-of-center candidate who is in the mainstream, and that's what I am.
Let's talk about what was your day job until recently on the January 6th committee. In the hearing last week, they highlighted the fact that your would-be Missouri Senate colleague, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, riled up the crowd on January 6th with that infamous raised fist, but later ran for safety like all of his other colleagues. Take a listen.
He raised his fist in solidarity with the protesters already amassing at the security gates. We spoke with a Capitol Police officer who was out there at the time. She told us that Senator Hawley's gesture riled up the crowd, and it bothered her greatly because he was doing it in a safe space, protected by the officers and the barriers.
So what were your thoughts on the evidence presented about Hawley and the fallout afterwards?
Yeah, I know the internet's having a lot of fun at Senator Hawley's expense, and there are a lot of jokes out there about it. But the fact that he was running actually demonstrated just how serious the threat was. During that same hearing, you heard the really shocking testimony that Secret Service agents were asking to make calls to their loved ones for fear that they would never see them again. So, obviously I disagree strongly with Senator Hawley on his views of the 2020 election and what happened on January 6th, but to see him and his colleagues there running really just shows that there was a real threat, and we need to make sure that this never happens again. And the threat wasn't just to the lives and safety of the people in the building, the people who are guarding the building, but the threat was also to our democracy. And we need to get back to having a consensus in favor of our Constitution and our democracy. And part of living in a democracy means accepting the results of the election, even if your party doesn't win.
And yet, despite the seriousness of the situation, as you just described, Senator Hawley doubled down last week. He posted a picture of a mug with his raised fist on it and urged people to buy it. You obviously feel that January 6th was a destructive moment, or you wouldn't have taken a job investigating it. Why do you think he doesn't share that view?
Well, unfortunately, it seems like politicians are trying to raise money by being as extreme and divisive as they possibly can be, because they're trying to appeal to a very small sliver of their party's base. So that gets back to my point earlier about why, even though I'm a lifelong Republican and continue to be a conservative Republican, I'm running as an independent because I don't want to play that game where we have to appeal to a small sliver of our base. I want to appeal to the vast majority of Missourians who are within the mainstream.
I know you've already picked up the support of one former Missouri Senator, Jack Danforth. Walk us through how, as an independent, you plan to approach this race over the next few months, how an independent can win in a state like Missouri. I know you've described why you should win, but give us give us the logistics of winning as an independent.
Yeah, so I've already collected enough signatures to get on the ballot in November. We'll be submitting those signatures to the Secretary of State in Jefferson City on Thursday. And then we'll be on the ballot in November. And I think that while there's not a lot of precedent for independent candidates to be able to win in general elections, this is a unique circumstance where we're going to have the most extreme and the most divisive from both parties. And then I'm very fortunate that Senator Danforth is supporting me, and he's started a super PAC, which he says will be well funded, that will support me. And so I think that I'm going to be able to get the message out to Missouri voters. And that's really all it takes, because the message, once it gets out to people, will really resonate, because most Missouri voters are in the mainstream. On the whole, they're right of center, but they're in the mainstream. And I think they're going to reject the extremes that they're getting from the two major parties.
Well, it'll be really interesting to watch, an interesting test case. John Wood, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.